analyze my life and the self-sabotage I've inflicted on myself, I can only see my mistakes. I don't like the way I think. Something's wrong with me. You come from a good family. You're pretty. You're skinny. You're smart. You have a good life. Cheer up. Smile. Don't look sad. How could there be something wrong with you? That's what I've been told my whole life. And that told me that no one wants to hear that, right?
How many siblings do you have?
2.
Is this your first time going to counseling?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Was it scary to bring yourself over here?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I've gotten hints from people in the past that I should maybe consider going to counseling, but I was always too afraid to. College is actually the first time that I even had the opportunity to look into therapy. So, when I got here, I thought, maybe now's the time. Maybe now's my chance to do this. So I expressed my interest, but I never followed through because I was scared.
What do you think you're scared of?
That something's wrong with me. And assuming that there is something wrong with me, that I would have to get medication for it.
I'm listening.
Yeah, pretty much that. That I'll find out that there's something wrong with me and then I'll have to get medicated.
Okay. Does that sound scary?
A little.
And what's so scary about that?
I grew up being what you would call a people pleaser, I guess. And I grew up in an environment where therapy was taboo. My parents always told me that therapy was for crazy people. So I never seriously considered going into it because I didn't want to disappoint them or embarrass them. Basically, I never would have been able to do this if it wasn't for college,
Well, you're very smart for doing this. You're absolutely so smart for doing it, because no one's ever going to know about this. All we talk about is very confidential. I can't talk to anybody about this, nor would I, except if I thought you were being a harm to yourself or somebody else. Then I would mention it to somebody else. But other than that, I'm never talking to anybody about what we talk about here unless you give me permission to talk to somebody about it. So good for you for having the courage to come here. That says a lot about you. I'm going to write a few things down. Any suicidal thoughts?
Could you clarify what you mean by suicidal thoughts?
Well, what are you thinking might be your suicidal thoughts? What are the thoughts you're having? You're questioning?
Well, sometimes when I get stressed, I'll have these thoughts that will just, creep into the back of my mind. Things like, I just wish I wasn't here. Or I just wish I didn't have to go through the things I'm going through. And I do have this thing where sometimes if I'm driving on the road, say like over a bridge, or I'm on the highway and I'm near a body of water, sometimes my thoughts, they really scare me, because I'll just think things like, oh, what would happen if I were to just veer off the side of the road right now? But I've never acted on them or anything, so I don't know if that fits your definition of suicidal thoughts or ideations or tendencies.
What keeps you from doing it?
Well, it's not like I want to die. There's something here that wants to. I just haven't lived the life I've wanted to live yet.
Okay. Are these thoughts are they in the past or are they current?
They started at the beginning of this week, I would say. Actually, end of last week.
Any self-harming behavior?
No.
What would you say your coping mechanisms are for dealing with stress?
To be honest, I don't know if I actually have any. Yeah, I don't actually know how to answer this question. I think I kind of just internalize everything, and just keep going. But I don't know.
Any family history of depression or anxiety?
Absolutely not. Nobody in my family would ever get diagnosed. But even if they did, they would never disclose that to anybody. That's something you take to the grave.
So, tell me what's bringing you here today.
I just have these thoughts. I have so many sad and pathetic thoughts.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came in. Can you give me one of those thoughts?
They're mostly about me just, not liking myself. I don't know. I just don't know how to be happier. Because I'm just sad all the time, and I feel like I'm going to feel this way forever. Or, I don't know, at the most, the happiest I'll ever be is just content.
Feelings of sadness. How long have you had that?
Oh, since middle school.
Any loss of interest or pleasure?
Yeah, that happens to me quite often, actually, where I just feel empty.
Crying spells?
No, I make it a point not to cry. I feel like I'm not supposed to.
How do you sleep at night?
Well, on a normal day, I'll go to bed around 1 a.m. maybe, but I don't usually fall asleep till about an hour later, because I have to like go through the day's events and think about all the stupid mistakes I've made. God, they're such stupid mistakes. And I have so much to apologize for now, and I just keep myself up at night thinking, why did I do that? What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? So yeah, I have trouble falling asleep at night.
Any fatigue?
Fatigue? I'm always tired.
And how long has that been going on for?
Since high school.
Feelings of guilt?
I usually feel that way because I'm juggling so many commitments and responsibilities on campus. I usually feel that way when I miss a deadline or don't respond to people promptly enough.
And what about shame?
Shame? When I'm with other people. I just assume everyone's having a good time, and I try to mimic that, but I can't. At least not all the time. But I know I'm not happy. Like, why do I lie all the time?
What about a sense of worthlessness?
Honestly, whenever I have to do something like this whole reflecting thing, when I have to share my innermost thoughts and feelings and emotions, I just imagine that people would look at me thinking, God, look at this girl. What's wrong with her? I don't enjoy doing this, just so you know. But I don't like to share how I truly feel because truly, I hate myself. I'm uncomfortable with myself and the way that I think, and I just have this voice that's like in the back of my mind that's always saying, fuck you. I fucking hate you. But to myself. Why does anybody like you? Fuck you. You don't deserve anything good in life, and you'll never be happy, and you should kill yourself. I know that what I'm thinking is wrong because I don't want anyone to know that I think this way. Seriously, no normal person does this. I mean, what normal person can't stand the sight of themselves in the morning? Seriously, I actively avoid looking at myself in the mirror because I know I'm just gonna nitpick every single flaw. And sometimes I do this thing when I'm alone where I just whisper insults to myself. Nobody does that, so I know I'm not supposed to.
Robin. Robin. Robin, I'm so glad you're here. There's a lot to talk about. What I'm hearing is a lot of negative self-talk, and we're gonna work on that. Together. I would like to see you again. Would you like to schedule another appointment?
Oh, I...
Hi there.
Hi. Hello.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
That's all right, you know? So you ready to begin?
Yes.